meanwhile, the two of them seem to be targeting the same, and it happens frequently, doesn't it? That when these transfer windows open, there's a raft of players that certain sides will be competing against one another to sign, and it seems that right now, as we speak, Dan, there's a very real sort of a fight going on between Celtic and Rangers for one particular transfer target.
Absolutely. I mean, and we left the show late last night, Keith, and thanks for anyone who tuned in. As always, we left with the news that Rangers were closing in on the deal for Daisuke Yokota.
Yeah,
I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I think you are.
The Hanover Japanese right winger. But big news today, early this morning, was that Rangers have apparently had an £8 million bid rejected for Fares Ghedjemis, who is the guy that has been linked with Celtic for the best part of
Well,
7 months.
He's been linked with both of them on and off, hasn't he? Now, the suggestion was that Celtic made an offer of £6 million, which was booted out quite quickly by Serie A club. And it's funny, isn't it? A Serie A club that I don't know much about them. Frosinone, they've rejected that offer. And reports in Italy are claiming this evening that Rangers have upped that offer to £8 million, and it's been kicked out as well, with Frosinone looking for somewhere more in the region of £12 million. Algerian international. I must admit that when you look at the track record of the Japanese player, Daisuke Yokota, that looks to me very much like Rangers have got a list of players that will give them different dynamics and different options in wide areas, and they think that that one would be probably the easiest of the potential targets to press the button on and get it done ahead of Europa League qualification starting on Thursday night in Poland. I wonder if that's the case. I wonder if there's also other options that Rangers are exploring, and then you get the news reports coming through, certainly from Italy tonight, that an offer, a big substantial offer, has been made for Ghedjemis. Now that really should. I think some Rangers fans might be a wee bit surprised at the size of the number that we're talking about here, but they shouldn't really be, because when you consider that they had an offer, a set in stone, it would have been around about £7 or £8 million for last season, for the Danish winger whose name is escaping me now. That's how much an impact he made. Skov Olsen. No, Skov Olsen.
Skov Olsen last season.
So if you remember, if Skov Olsen had been a success in Glasgow, then Rangers would have had that option to go in at that sort of level of spending at the start of the close season. They chose not to do it, but that was an indicator that they will have money to spend on the key areas in the pitch. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. I'm surprised because they're coming under a bit of fire now, the Rangers recruitment department, and understandably so. But it seems they are responding by trying to get some bodies into the place ahead of, certainly, Yokota looks as if that should be done. We're actually just awaiting confirmation on that. It appears as if a deal has been done with Hanover, and the personal terms seem pretty much to have been thrashed out and agreed upon. So you'd expect that one to get done. But I must emphasise, I don't think this will be the end. I think that Derek McInnes will be looking to further his options, and further his choices in these kind of wide and attacking areas, because that's what he's crying out for. By the way, let's not forget, he also needs cover at left back. He also could do with at least one centre half. So there's so much still to be done. And Martin O'Neill, as we've been saying now for, I think, last couple of weeks, the two of these managers, as the clock was ticking down towards the start of the domestic season, neither of them was in a particularly comfortable place, and they've still got loads of work to do. So it's going to be really interesting, especially when you get these sort of scenarios which come up when you've got two of them actually trying to bid against each other for potential targets. I'm not sure that either of them will be, knocking each other out the way to bid £12 million for Ghedjemis. But Rangers are getting close if they're getting up towards the £8 million, which is what, near €10 million. Significant sums.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you wonder what the Celtic response is to this.
I'll come to that in a wee minute, Keith, but we've got some comments that are coming in, and if you want to get involved, please do so. Mark is one of a few people saying, Keith, where are Rangers getting all the cash from? And I know you've just explained it quite well there, but I would throw in as well, you look at Toki Chukwani and Ryan Nadiri in January, what between them, what's that, £8-9 million? I mean, this summer, they've got Pandur's come in, Dragojevic has come in, Macanya's a few million quid. If they were then to spend 8 million on Ghedjemis and then 3.5 on Yokota, it's a lot of money. It's a big outlay.
Well, I think the look, we're going to split hairs here, but I think Yokota is less than, Yokoto is less than £3 million. But it's still the vast majority of it. It's about 2.75, I think. Yeah, it's money. It is substantial, but as I said to you, the money had been sort of ring fenced for Skov Olsen. Had Skov Olsen showed up for his work last season, they would have probably have done that deal anyway. So look, they'll need to balance the pounds. There's no doubt about that. But they do have an ongoing situation with Nico Raskin. I know that Raskin has been named in the squad, but unless I've missed something, I haven't seen any sign he's actually bothered to come back to Glasgow yet. So that would be a bit of a worrying scenario because it's actually quite a long time. I think that Belgium's last game at the World Cup was against Spain, and that would have been at the start of July. So that's a good month he's had off. I saw Lionel Messi going back and coming on off the bench for Inter Miami the other night, having made it to the final at the age of 39. So that starts to look like a bit of a problem for Rangers. Somebody needs to put their foot down somewhere with Nico Raskin and establish what exactly it is that's going on. But certainly, you would think at market value, the sort of prices that people are paying for guys of Nico Raskin's level, having had a really impressive World Cup with Belgium, you would think that Rangers would be able to balance off a lot of whatever spending they've got to do this summer on a sale like that. But yeah, he'd need to come back into the country first, wouldn't he? So we're actually getting to the nitty gritty bit now, aren't we? These next 2 or 3 weeks are going to determine what these squads look like going in then for the big run towards January and the next shot at a transfer window. But a season can be broken or made in that run between now and Christmas. So there's not a lot of time to spare, and a real emphasis now on sorting out squads, whether it's ingoings, outgoings, and giving both Martin O'Neill and Derek McInnes a definitive squad with which they're going to have to run for the next few months.
Yep. Rangers is okay says in the comments, we've only really spent around £4 million net so far with the players we've sold, and the likelihood of Raskin going too. We are going to get a few big signings and we'll need them in the final third.